My favorite book when I was a child, or when I was very little, and actually the only book I remember from when I was very little, is called The Runaway Bunny. But I actually didn't even remember what this book was called. I just remembered this story about a little bunny that was having all these adventures. So the reason that this was one of my favorite bedtime books was because the story is filled with all of these adventures that this little bunny wants to have. But the whole premise of the book is that no matter where he goes to have these adventures, his mother is going to be with him no matter what. So the book is filled with these really beautiful pictures of the little bunny having these adventures and his mother being there no matter where he wanted to go. If he wants to go on top of a mountain, she's there for him. If he wants to become a flower, she would become a gardener. And if he wants to fly, she would become a tree that's there for him wherever he flies, and a boat. And I remember pictures from this story because they were really beautiful. But I'm sure that the message of the story, which was that no matter where you go and how far away you think you are from the people that love you, in reality, this story shows us how the people who love us are always there, and they're part of the landscape, the way that these images show that the mother was part of the landscape for him no matter where he went. And I think that that's a really beautiful message.
So one of my favorite books when I was growing up was the Red Wall series, which is basically a book where they personify like mice and rats and badgers, and they live together in communities and have these kind of epic battles, and there's mystery and a lot of different character development. And it was just great because not only was it fascinating reading, it really was about what it means to be brave and loyal and contribute to a community, and I just loved it.
Hey, so one of my favorite books growing up was the Alex Rider series by Anthony Horowitz. So it's kind of like a teenage James Bond, and I really liked kind of like the thriller aspect of it and kind of like the cool gadgets and like all the spy sort of shenanigans that went on in that series.
Oh, excuse me. I was just reading my book. What do you like to read? As a child, my favorite book was Where the Wild Things Are. It was about a little boy who got sent to his room with no supper, and he was able to go on this magical adventure. And as a child, I loved to tell stories, and so I would get lost in any book I could find to take me somewhere else.
My favorite childhood book is The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. It's my favorite book because I really love the illustrations, but also the way that the story would progress made me feel a mix of bittersweet and touching emotions.
My favorite book was Series of Unfortunate Events because I love fantasy and I love the sense of mystery while I was reading through the series.
So my favorite books when I was a kid was the R.L. Stine Fear Street series. They kind of mixed together horror because R.L. Stine with a little bit of romance and a little bit of historical fiction, all kid-friendly, of course. I loved these books. I could devour them in a day. I was like obsessed with them as a kid.
Hi, this is Anne. I chose Magic Tree House not for my childhood, but for my young parenting time. The story about Jack and Annie's adventure led my children to fly together with Jack and Annie. They could not stop the story in the middle.